Hey everybody, I want to welcome you to one of my episodes of Kanvs. We have been working on this for a long time, and I figured this was one of the best times to launch it because I know a lot of people are thinking about what is going to happen with everything that's going on. So listen, stay tuned. We're going to be looking at what should we be doing, what should we be thinking, how do we overcome once the tidal wave subsides. This is Kanvs with Michael Durant.
This is Kanvs.
Thank you for watching this episode. As you know, it is crazy out there. And one thing that you have to think about is, how do we get here? Has there been any warning signs that have given us the idea that this would be a place that we would be as a globe? Now, as you're watching this, I'm not going to live in the space of negativity because I just can't do it. Yesterday, I kind of got a little sick. And of course, you know, if anything goes on, we call it, if you sneeze or anything, everyone gets the big eyes on you, you know, and I got a little sick yesterday and I was feeling a little bad beforehand. And I realized, you know, that every time I walk between my house and my office, I just would get these massive like sneezing and everything. And I know it was the pollen outside. I didn't realize that last few days it was extremely high and I was out and about and it really affected me. And it's, you know, it's a scary place right now where we are and what we're going through. But I want you to really think about not what we're going through right now, but what is it going to be like after? That's what's going to matter the most, because we're thinking about our right now, and our future is going to change, and it's going to change in a way that you haven't even thought about. And I'm not saying in a negative way. I think it's time for us to actually reflect on what we learned. I was speaking to my mom, she's in Louisiana, and we were talking yesterday, and it's that time in our lives that we sit back and say, wow, what am I to learn from this? What am I to get from this? We have viruses all the time, but this thing, what am I supposed to get from this? What am I supposed to learn so that I can live a better life? I can protect my family. I can secure my future. I know on the business side, I've seen a lot of things change to the point of even clients and realizing how easy it was to fracture their business and stop what they were doing. And being that we're in Las Vegas, there's a lot of what we do is entertainment. So you're talking about, you know, you think about some sporting events being canceled. Think about your whole city that's based off of entertainment being canceled. Now, listen, I don't agree with everything that goes on in Vegas. Never will I. I don't care what people think. I love where I live on the outside. I don't really visit the Strip much, but there's a lot of good people that work on the Strip. There's a lot of good people that work here in Las Vegas. There's a lot of faith-filled people that live here in Las Vegas. But in all of it, you have to stop and say, okay, where do I go from here? Let me reflect on what's going on. And I know I have been, because for a moment I was in that mode of, you know, what is going to happen? And there's some things I have to tell you. You can't control what you can't control. As simple as that. You can't control all the things that's outside of your sphere, but you can control you. You can't control what you do. If you hear knocking in the background, they're doing a refurbish on a house. They're still working, still making things happen. You know, you can only do what you can do. And it's this moment that you look up and you evaluate the damages and you get up and you start again. Do not wait for anyone to tell you. This is the cool thing that happens with people of innovative mindsets, entrepreneurs, people that are not going to be kicked down. You don't have to be an entrepreneur to think this way. You have to be a mover, a person that knows things have to move forward. It's how we were created. Everything is meant to move in a direction forward. When you're not moving forward, you're in stagnation. So when you see companies that are falling quickly because they didn't have cash flow, when you see ministries that are not going to be able to bear this, it's because they were not moving forward. And I do not mean to point a finger. I'm not trying to say anything like that. But what I want you to do is, if you can come out of this the way and learn from it, you will be a greater organization. You will be a greater person, because you will no longer be dependent on anyone else. For me and my family, we work very hard to be independent. We homeschool our children. We run our own business. We try to make sure that we put money aside. We try to make sure we always have extra stuff aside. I'm from Louisiana. We had hurricanes and everything like that. So we were always taught to be prepared. So it was in my mechanism to always make sure we had. And my wife was one, she loved the prepper. So it just, that kind of fell into place. We were concerned. We're still concerned, but we're not going to be defeated. We're not going to cast our head down. I am grateful to be an American. I am grateful to be in America where there is freedom. I'm telling you, you're going to see a big shift that is going to come and is going to open us up to new ideas. There was a news report that I saw that was a company that was about to close their doors. I think they were a distillery out of Pennsylvania. And they turned their distillery around in a matter of maybe a week or so before they closed their doors to a hand sanitizer company. And they basically upped their alcohol levels and what they were producing, shut down all of the alcohol as far as for drinking to make hand sanitizer. They saw a need. And there's a great show that I love and I used to watch with my kids, Robots, was if you see a need, fill a need. And this is the economy that we're going to be coming to. If you see a need, fill that need. I'm here to tell you that you can get up from this. You can become what you were intended to be, and you got a little slow, you got a little comfortable. There's no more comfort places right now. You're going to have to do something different. You're going to have to become innovative. You're going to have to look at your job differently. If you lost your job, it does not mean you're out. If you got to get unemployment, get unemployment. If you got to get food stamps, get food stamps. If you have to go and get a loan for your company, go get that loan for your company, because it's going to be how you plan your way through this. This is just stepping stones. Okay? Do not give up on yourself. Do not give up on your dreams, and do not let anyone ever dictate how you will react and what you will accomplish in a time like this. I don't know what the round the corner looks like, but for me and mine, we're going to work diligently to not fall from what we've climbed. See, one thing that I was always taught is as you climb, you anchor yourself in so you never fall all the way back down. That's a mindset. That's how I look at business. That's how I look at partnerships. That's how I look at my family. We never get into a position where we fall all the way back. Think about this. You're climbing a mountain and you don't anchor yourself in. If you've never done it before, think about it. And an example of that is you have a savings. You do what you need to do to have a savings. And when you're building your company, you make sure you diversify your clientele, that not one client is dictating all of your business. It's hard to do that sometimes, but you got to work at it. And if it does, you work to make sure you give great customer service, but never allow one client to dictate all of your revenue. And as you move up this mountain, you anchor in so that when it's times like this, you're not rushing out, blowing your savings. After it's all over, going back, you can't return that stuff. No, you got mounds and mounds of toilet paper, unfortunately, that you're trying to figure out what to do. So now that you're going to see the wave pull back. It rushed in like a tsunami, and you're going to see it pull back. The stock market is already growing. The cryptocurrency is already growing. If you're not looking at this, you need to start to get yourself an understanding on the financial side of your world. As a man of faith, I believe in going to my Father with every idea that I have. I believe in preparing. I believe in investing. I started a little late, but I still believe in it and I learn about it. I wanted to make sure that as we were to walk into this new season, that we would think, use our brain, we would prepare, we would learn, we would execute. This is what is going to take for this next phase. We've been through that. I went through the entire pain of 2008, and it was when I started my company. When everything was going down is when I started my company. So if you look at me and say, how can he talk like this? This is not the time for all this. I was here before. This was the time where I had people that I knew that were driving out to the desert because they lost everything in a real estate crash. People were killing themselves, couples committing suicide, friends that were living it up, $20,000, $30,000 a month, gone. And they were broken, depressed. And I said, Lord, I'm going to lean on you. I was already broke. So why don't I try to think differently? And I chose for 6 months to only focus on one thing. And that's what we're about to do again. We're going to revamp our business. I've had to become a chameleon in my business to change where it was telling me to go, to be organic. This is what you're going to have to do now. You're going to have to be organic. You're going to have to be an organic church. You're going to have to be an organic business. You're going to have to be an organic person. You're going to have to increase your skills, get out of your comfort zone, and stand up and do something. It's this time, okay? You reflect, you evaluate, and you got to make a decision to move forward. The wave will subside. What are you going to do after it? That's what's going to make the big difference in your future. I don't want you to hold your head down. Turn off the news. Turn it off. Turn it off. Turn it off. Watch only what's important because they are there to still get ratings. Remember that. They're there to sell advertisement. The more you look, the more you are tuned in, the more you will get fear. See, the mind works in a beautiful way. Whatever you feed it, your subconscious will begin to produce the fruit for what you are allowing in. It's how it works. It's a spiritual law. It is a psychological law. Whatever you're feeding into yourself right now, if you're not feeding positive into your world, you will live in the negative. Whether this was going on or not, this is just a principle. It's something I live by. When I get down and I don't know what to do, I feed things into myself. I listen to motivational speakers. I listen to positive music. I don't listen to stuff with cursing. I don't watch certain things. Look, I love a good action movie, but if it gets too bad, I do not want that in my psyche. I'll tell anyone around me. When people around me, if they start doing all this cursing, like, hey, you don't have a better vocabulary, I only want positive in my life. And that's how I've raised my children. It's how I've grow my business. I only want positive in my life. So if the media continues to feed, listen, I watched the news every day when it came down to this. And then I started realizing I felt no hope. And I never want to be in a place where I don't feel any hope. So turn it off for a little bit. Step away from it for a day just to get some clarity, get the noise out. What are you supposed to do now? Whatever you have to do to provide for yourself and your family, get up and go do it. Put aside pride and ego. Go get it done, whatever needs to happen. And once you get that thing that needs to happen for you to feel secure right now, then you start thinking about, what do I need to do next? I want you to keep tuning in to Kanvs. You can go to Kanvs Live. You'll see the URL on the screen. Go and sign up because I don't want this podcast to live just in Facebook and in YouTube. I want to be able to capture emails so I can keep you updated and never be bound by social media when we grow this thing. You're seeing me from the start. Let's see where it goes. Share this video. Hopefully it helps you and hopefully it inspires you. And I will be putting out more episodes because I have to. If you can see me do it, then hopefully it inspires you to do it also. This is Michael Durant with Kanvs Live. Until next time.
This is Kanvs.